Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of The Source. Some more college football. We went 8-4 plus 1.54 units last Saturday. Love it, but we're just getting started. Week 1 is here. In this video, we got a good Big Ten matchup here. One of the best games of the entire weekend. Purdue versus Penn State. Let's go. Welcome to The Source. The Source. Hey, get the Source. All right, Penn State on the road in Purdue here. The line is Purdue plus 3.5. Looking like this is going to be a pros versus Joes game, meaning the public's on one side, sharp money's on the other. Public's on Penn State, sharp money is on Purdue. And yo, check it out as we track the action through Monday, Tuesday. Now here we are on Wednesday evening. We're up to 69% of the money on Purdue, so more and more Boilermaker money coming in. Line has not moved yet. This is definitely one we want to keep an eye on. May drop down to plus 3. So let's cap this game. If you subscribe to this channel, you already know the first step. We're running the numbers through the spreadsheet. According to our analytics, the line for this game should be Purdue plus 0.43. Now, keep in mind, my model right now is using last year's analytics, so we're taking this with a huge grain of salt. All right, let's break down this matchup, and we'll start with Penn State. This defense was good as hell last year. 3rd in defensive efficiency in the Big Ten, top 25 in the entire country. The offense with Sean Clifford and Jahan Dotson, who's now in the NFL, it was okay. But this team was mostly carried by its defense all last season. Here's the bad news if you're a Nittany Lions fan. That defense from last year, yeah, it's been absolutely gutted. Penn State returns just 57% of its production on the defensive side of the ball. That's 103rd in the FBS. And to top it off, Brent Pry, their defensive coordinator, who was the dude who built that defense that was so successful last year, he's gone. He got a head coaching gig over at Virginia Tech. Manny Diaz takes over as the DC. I know some people are big on him. I really don't have an opinion as of yet. This year's going to tell us a lot. The jury's not out on Manny Diaz as a defensive coordinator. But regardless, with all those losses on the field, combined with a new defensive coordinator losing a great coach, you gotta think Penn State's defense takes a step backwards. And to make matters even worse for Penn State, they don't even get a warm-up game. They open the season on the road against a conference opponent in Purdue who has a really, really dangerous quarterback. In case you weren't watching Big Ten football this year, Aidan O'Connell, man, he took over as the starter, I think in week 4 it was. He took over from Jack Plummer, and it took him a couple games to get going, but once this kid found it, he was slinging it. Ready for this? Want to see how Aidan O'Connell finished the year last year? Here are the last 5 games of Purdue's schedule last year. Aidan O'Connell against Michigan State, 536 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Next game, Ohio State, 390 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 picks. Next game, Northwestern, 423 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Next game, Indiana, 278 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Then they play Tennessee in the Music Bowl. He threw for 534 yards and 5 touchdowns. To be fair, he did throw 3 interceptions in that bowl game against Tennessee, but they won. Purdue finished the season 4-1, their only loss being to Ohio State. So overall, I'm pretty stoked to watch this Purdue team play this year. I can't wait. It's nice to have a gunslinging quarterback in the Big Ten West. That never happens. When's the last quarterback that came out of the Big Ten West? Drew Brees? Seriously. Aidan O'Connell is great. As far as returning production for Purdue, they returned 16 of their 22 starters on offense and defense. Solid compared to just 10 returning starters for Penn State. Now, I do have a few concerns for Purdue. They may bring back a lot of starters, but the starters they lost were key pieces. Number 1, wide receiver David Bell, by far their best receiver. He was drafted by the Cleveland Browns. Obviously, he's gone. Next up, they lose George Karlaftis. Huge loss here. He went in the first round to the Chiefs. He's their best pass rusher by far. Probably the best player on their entire defense last year. So he's gone, and they lost Jalen Alexander, their leading tackler from last year. So yes, they do bring back 16 starters, but they lose some very key pieces. So the concerns for Purdue are number 1, defense. They lose their best 2 defenders, and even though they do return a lot of starters, the question is, can this Purdue defense take a step forward despite losing those 2 pieces? And I think the answer is yes. One of the things I do like, 10 of the 11 projected starters on the Purdue defense are seniors this year. Obviously, you gotta like that experience. The other major concern for Purdue, and this is huge, the run game, man. Last year, Purdue against Big Ten conference opponents averaged just 2.6 yards per carry. 2.6. That's dead last in the Big Ten. This team could not run the ball for shit last year. Now, to be fair, Purdue likes to drop Aidan O'Connell back 50, 55 times a game. They're definitely a pass-heavy team, but 2.6 yards per carry, you gotta be better than that. So who am I betting in this game? I think I made it pretty obvious by the video, but the truth is I have Penn State maybe slightly above Purdue, if not dead even as far as who I think is the stronger overall team this year. So the fact that I'm getting the home team plus 3.5, I'm pretty comfortable with that. So give me Purdue plus 3 and a hook. Let's rock with the Boilermakers. Let's go. Any changes, I will keep you posted on my Twitter account. Make sure you give me a follow over there. Also, if you want the bet of the day, parlay of the day, the top bets, all that stuff, make sure you download the Sauce Network app. Here we go, college football Thursday night. Let's bring in some units. Remember, pick your spots, play smart. Let's make some money. I'll talk to you on Twitter.